Hi there, and welcome back to Paws and Pawsitivity. I'm Jamie Watkinson-Harvey, your certified dog trainer and host of this podcast. Whether you're at home with a cuppa or out enjoying a walk with your dog, I'm so glad you've joined me today. Now, today's episode is a big one and an important one. We're going to talk about something that still makes a lot of dog owners feel uneasy: growling. You know that moment when your dog lets out a low rumble and you immediately think, oh no, they're being aggressive. I completely understand that reaction. But here's the truth. Growling isn't bad behavior. It's communication. And if we can learn to listen to it rather than punish it, we open up a world of trust and understanding between us and our dogs. Let's start by clearing up one of the biggest myths in dog training. The idea that a growl means your dog is trying to challenge you or be dominant. That's outdated thinking, and modern behavioural science paints a very different picture. A growl is simply your dog saying, I'm uncomfortable right now. It's a warning before they feel the need to escalate further. And that's actually a good thing. It's their way of keeping everyone safe. If we punish that growl by scolding, yanking a lead, or telling them off, what we're really doing is teaching them that it's not safe to tell us when they're uncomfortable. And once that communication is shut down, they might skip straight to the next step on what we call the escalation ladder or escalation pyramid. That's the gradual scale of behaviour that dogs use when they feel anxious or threatened. You've probably already seen this without realising. It starts off subtly. Maybe your dog turns their head away, licks their lips, yawns, or looks for an escape route. If those signals are ignored, they might freeze, show the whites of their eyes, or growl. And if they still aren't heard, they might eventually snap or bite. Not because they're bad, but because every polite request to be left alone went unnoticed or punished. The escalation ladder is such a useful concept. And if you're a visual learner, I really recommend looking up the illustrations by Lily Chin. She's fantastic at turning canine body language into easy to understand drawings. Another brilliant resource is Ture de Rugas, particularly her book on talking terms of dogs, Calming Signals. Both are essential reading if you want to get better at understanding your dog's emotional world. Now, let's bring this to life with a few real examples from my own household. You've probably heard me mention Penny before. She's my lovely French bulldog. And when she's hormonal or in season, she sometimes becomes a little more sensitive. If someone approaches her and she's not quite in the mood for company, she'll give a gentle growl to say, no thanks, I need a bit of space. When people respect that and step back, you can actually see the relief in her body language. Her shoulders soften, her body loosens, and she often runs straight back to me for reassurance. That's communication at its best. She set a boundary, it's been respected, and everyone feels safe. And then there's Reggie, my rescue staffy. He's such a sweetheart, but he values his peace and quiet, especially if the others get a bit rowdy near him whilst he's snoozing. He'll tolerate it for a while, watching with that half-open eye that says, I'm pretending to be asleep, but I'm very aware of you. But the moment he's had enough, he'll let out a low measured growl. The fascinating thing is that others respond immediately. Playtime stops, everyone calms down, and Reggie goes back to sleep. No conflict, no drama, just mutual respect. And then there's Onyx. He's the strong, silent type, rarely vocal, but when he does growl, it's incredibly subtle. It's almost as if the other dogs understand that if Onyx has spoken, he really means it. What's amazing is how naturally they all respect each other's boundaries. There's this unspoken code in the dog world that says, I'll listen to you if you listen to me. And it works beautifully when we humans allow it to. The problem is, too many people have been taught to see growling as something that needs to be stopped immediately. You might have heard trainers say things like, you need to show your dog who's boss, or don't let them get away with that. But punching a growl doesn't stop the discomfort that caused it. It just hides the symptom. It's a bit like removing the battery from a smoke alarm because the noise is annoying. Sure, the sound stops, but the danger remains. So, what should you do instead? Well, the first step is to pause and listen. Your dog is giving you valuable information. They're saying something about how they're feeling in that moment. Maybe they're in pain. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they're guarding something they value. Or maybe they're just overstimulated. Your job isn't to correct the growl, it's to understand the cause behind it. Next, calmly remove your dog from the situation or remove the trigger if it's safe to do so. You're helping them feel secure again. Then, once everyone's calm, start working on helping your dog feel better about whatever caused the discomfort in the first place. That's where positive reinforcement training comes in. We can gently desensitize and counter-condition their response over time. For example, if your dog growls when someone approaches their food bowl, you might begin by having people walk by at a comfortable distance whilst tossing a treat their way, so that they then start to associate people near their bowl with good things. It's all about safety and communication. Growling isn't disobedience, it's a gift. It gives us the chance to step in before anything goes wrong. And in the long run, respecting those early signals helps build trust. Your dog learns they can express themselves safely and that you'll listen. That trust is what strengthens your bond more than anything else. One final thought I want to leave you with. We often expect our dogs to adapt completely to our world. But sometimes we forget how much they do to communicate with us in theirs. When you start viewing growls, yawns, lip licks, and even sighs as part of the emotional conversation, you'll start to see your dog in a whole new light. You'll realise they've been speaking to you all along. We just need to learn how to listen. And that's it for today's episode of Paws and Pawsitivity. I hope this helps you see that your dog's growl is not a warning to fear, but as an invitation to understand. Remember, it's not about silencing your dog. It's about helping them feel safe enough that they don't need to shout to be heard. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, I would love it if you can give the podcast a positive rating, share it with a friend, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. It's through your support that helps us reach more dog lovers and keeps the positive message going. Until next time, take care and give your pup a big hug from me. Woofity woof.